At the beginning of February, I quit my job. I was bored of being sat at a desk all day and I'm training to do an entirely new career. But in the meantime, I'm out collecting cars, delivering them from A to B when they've been sold online. Thought I'd bring you along for the ride this time around. I'm on my way now to collect the car from the customer's address and I'll join you again once I've got it. I'm about 10 minutes away from the customer's property now and I thought I'd just give a quick update of how this process works. So I'll arrive at the customer's property, verify they are who they are, and they are the owner of the vehicle as best as I can, checking the V5 with their name, the VIN number matches, etc. I then go around the vehicle, taking a lot of photographs, every corner, every panel, and I have to mark any damage that I can find, along with things like the instrument cluster all lit up, showing there's no warning lights on the dash, the engine bay, check the oil level, spare tyre if there's one, inflation kit if not, take photos of all of that, and then they get uploaded onto the system. They'll get sent straight off to the dealership, Car Giant in this case, and I then have to give them a call. They'll look at the photos, check the vehicle over, check it is what they were told it was, as they bought it online sight unseen. If they agree to buy the vehicle, they'll send the customer the money, pay off any finance, anything like that, and then I will take the keys, deliver the car. So I'm in the south of Sheffield here. Google Maps said it would be a 45-minute walk from my house, but it's only taken me half an hour, so as I say, got a little bit of time to kill, so not too bad a journey to get to, and I have just walked. Obviously I've got to use public transport. Once I've got the car and it's been delivered, it's up to me to get back, and that's how these systems work. But yeah, I thought I'd bring you along for the ride, see what we're doing. The vehicle we're collecting today is a 2017 Ford Cougar. It's a 2-litre diesel, and I'm taking it to White City in London. So we'll be from here, we've got the A61 just over to my right here, so we'll be straight onto that, straight down through Chesterfield onto the A617, and then we will join the M1 at junction 29 from there. From there it's all the way down to junction 1, joining the North Circular, and then from there we'll turn into London and head down to White City. So I'll join you again once I've got the car. Just a quick update, I'm obviously in the vehicle right now. I've completed all my checks, taken all the photos that I need to take, checked the ID of the person, and we are now, they've been sent through to the dealership, Car Giant, and they're just checking over them, and then they'll release the funds to the customer. Once the customer's received the funds, I then get the keys and can be on my way. I'm supposed to allow up to half an hour for the payment to go through before I start chasing people up. It's been 8 minutes so far, so got a little while to wait. It's quite cold, so she's gratefully let me sit inside the vehicle. She's gone back into her house and will come out when she's seen the payment in her bank account. Once I'm away from the property, I will do a quick walk around, show you the vehicle, but for now it's just a waiting game. Okay, so I've just collected the vehicle. The process actually took a really long time. The payment just took forever. It was Car Giant, I think I've said that it's going to, and apparently they had a lot of collections being done this morning, and it just took a long time as a result. I'm now en route. I've got a 154 mile, 2 3/4 hours, nearly 3 hours worth of driving to do. I will make a stop en route, at which point I'll just show you the vehicle. Yeah, so far I've driven it just around the corner to get away from their house, set the GoPro up, plug my phone in, so I've got my Android Auto running on the sync unit. Long drive ahead, straight onto the A61 from here, nice and easy to get to. That'll take me down through Chesterfield, where I'll join the A617, which will then take me out to the M1 at junction 29, and then it's all the way down the M1. I'll probably stop at one of the services along route though. I do need to check how much fuel I've got. I'm not supposed to refuel the vehicle unless I have to, but I've got to work out how much range I've got. I've got 215 miles of range and 154 mile journey, so that should be fine. I've got just over a quarter of a tank. It's diesel anyway, so we'll be fine. I don't have to pay ULEZ, it's compliant, and I'm not going inside congestion charge or anything like that. So all in all, it should be a straightforward journey, and we'll see how it goes. So before the camera fell over there, I gave you a brief time lapse of travelling down the M1. As you see, we've not actually done too badly. We've had a bit of rain, a bit of sunshine, but no traffic. It's been a nice straightforward run. I've just stopped here at Watford Gap services because I'm way ahead of schedule. I'm booked in to drop this car off at Car Giant at 3 o'clock, and it is currently 7 minutes past 12. So I've got an hour and a half ahead of me from here, so I'll grab some lunch, be on my way again, and then I'll probably stop again as I get a bit closer towards London. Just make sure I judge that last bit. If I do arrive early, it's not the end of the world. Just it may take a bit longer to process the booking in, as the person may not be available at the time. I had expected delays at the start, but it was just over an hour for me completing the appraisal to the customer actually receiving the money, which was slightly longer than planned. I do get paid for waiting, but only after the first hour, and then it's in 15-minute blocks. We didn't meet the first 15 minutes, so I don't get any compensation for it. But it's not the end of the world. I'd planned an early pickup anyway, so it wasn't anything I didn't account for. So I suppose I should talk about how this process works. Well, as I say, I quit my job back in February. I just didn't want to be sat at a desk anymore, and while I'm training for my new career, I'm picking up these jobs ad hoc as and when required. This is the second one I've done. So I signed up for the platform, and they list the jobs, they list the vehicles that need moving from A to B, what the vehicle is, where it needs to go from, and what type of collection it is, and where it needs to go to, what type of collection it is. By what type of collection, I mean whether it's a customer pickup like this one was, so picking it up from the owner, or whether it's picking it up from a dealership, taking it to a customer, or dealership to dealership, auction to dealership. BCA branches come up occasionally as well. It tells you what the type of vehicle is, so I knew beforehand this was a Ford Cougar, didn't know what age it was, I knew it was a diesel, and I knew it was a manual. It also then says I've got 2.5 hours expected driving time. Now the sat nav did say initially 2 hours 45 minutes, and obviously I'm stopping here, but I'm allowed up to 6 hours, so I've got plenty of time to make the job. As I book it, I say I'm going to collect the car at, in this case it was 9 AM, and I'm going to drop it off. Again, in this case, I've selected 3 PM. And then it's up to me to make my way to the vehicle and make my way back from the drop-off point. We'll come to that one in a second. So obviously, collecting it wasn't too bad. As I said, it was Google Maps said it was a 45-minute walk. In reality, for me, I do walk fairly fast. It was only a half-hour journey. So I arrived at the customer's property at 9 AM, did all my checks, did the appraisal of the vehicle, and everything was complete by 9:20. I've submitted the documents. I then called Car Giant, and they've gone, oh yeah, we're quite busy at the minute, I'll call you back in 10 minutes. Half an hour later, still hadn't called me, so I called him back again. He said, okay, I'm just going to go to my accounts department, release the funds now. I'll call you back to confirm that's been done, and then I have to wait up to half an hour for the customer to receive the money. Eventually I got the call from the customer to say, I've received the money. He'd gone off to work at this point and left me just with his wife. So he called me to say, yeah, I've received the funds now. And yeah, that arrived on time, and then I have to make my own way back. I don't have a car. Sometimes you can look on the platform and you'll find, well, I'm taking this to White City, London. There's a car that needs to go from White City to somewhere, maybe Nottingham, get me a bit closer back. If I could have done that, I would, but unfortunately today there was no option for something like that. So how do I get back? Well, I need to use public transport. Okay, I'm in London, that should be fairly straightforward. Well, it is and it isn't. The part of London I'm in, I've got a few choices of stations nearby, and I can get myself to somewhere helpful. The easiest option obviously to get back is a train from St Pancras up to Sheffield, but that was going to cost me £90, being quite last minute. So my next best option was to look at alternative transport. I use an app called Rome to Rio, and you put in your 2 locations and it works out options for getting back using public transport, be that bus, coach, train, whatever, and it tells you roughly how much it's going to cost. It's slightly better than using Google Maps because it gives you a few more options that Google Maps doesn't necessarily cover. So I looked on there and it highlighted me that if I can get myself to Finchley Road Station, I can get a National Express coach up to Sheffield Meadowhall, and from there I can get my own way home. This time was going to cost me £8, or £8.90 I think it was. So we'll call it £10, £11 to get home, and then this job itself for the 154 miles of driving is paying out £100. So all in all, it's £90 for a day's work. It's not brilliant, but it's also not bad for driving a car. So I don't have trade plates, so this car is taxed and MOT'd, and will be, when the dealership receive it, they'll transfer the vehicle by the DVLA, and that will cancel the previous owner's tax, and they'll get a refund for the complete months. The platform that I use does provide the insurance for the car, so I'm insured per job. There's a ridiculous excess. Well, the actual excess is fine, it's £500, which my own personal insurance I think is £650 at the minute. Might be less. I think it's also £500 excess if it needs a replacement windscreen as well. So the plan now will be for me to go in and grab some food. I'll hang around here for a little bit longer and then continue the rest of the journey down the M1. It's now 1 o'clock. I'm back from having my quick break, and it's quietened down a little bit out here, so I'm going to do a quick exterior walk around for you so you can actually see the car. I don't think the sound's going to be that great. Once I open the door, I suspect you won't hear it very much, but I'll do a quick walk around. It is titanium spec, this car. I don't think it's a titanium X. Pretty much standard. It's got some wind deflectors on the windows, you can just about see up there, and it's got some interesting bits of add-on chrome at the rear as well, which you'll see as we get around there. So it's done about 55,000 miles and actually doesn't look too bad for its age. It's got a few stone chips on the bonnet, a couple of dings in this driver's door and the rear passenger door, but overall it's quite nice and tidy. So we've got the Ford Sync 3 navigation system there, climate control down the bottom on physical controls, which is always nice. It's a manual gearbox but electric parking brake thingy, and then we've got, as I say, 55,500 miles on it now. Yeah, I've got a digital speedo readout. You can navigate through the screen with the buttons on the steering wheel. So we've got just under a quarter of a tank now. It was just over when I left. And we've got 146 miles of range on 47 average MPG. Not bad. It has got start stop, which obviously I've not needed because I've been on the motorway mostly. Probably will use it in London. Just drop it into neutral. Doesn't matter whether I put the handbrake on or not, as long as my foot's on the brake and we're in neutral, it will cut out and restart as I put my foot back on the clutch. So this car, I don't know obviously the specific details, but the way this process works is the owner of the vehicle wanted to sell the car. He looked at part exchanging it, but then, as a few people do these days, you've got CarWow, you've got Motorway, you've got Cinch, all those online platforms where you can sell your car. You upload all your details, take photos of the car, all the details about it, and then the dealers that want to buy the car make an offer. I'm rambling again, but this is my first vlog, I guess. I just thought it might be interesting to bring you along for this journey and see where the road takes us. It's a 3 o'clock drop off. I'm hoping the drop off process should only be 5-10 minutes, half an hour at most if they're busy, I guess, because it's Car Giant. They said they've got a few coming in today, and then it's half an hour on the London Overground, 5 stops. Or I could walk for an hour and a half, maybe, because it'd be an hour for me. Maybe I'll do that, I don't know, because my coach isn't till 5 o'clock. Maybe I'll walk a couple of the stops. We'll work that out when we get there. Well, I'll set you back up onto a time lapse for the rest of this journey then, and I'll probably talk to you when I get near to White City. Maybe flip the camera around so it's facing me as we arrive in to Car Giant. I've got to work out, they've got a huge site, I've got to work out where I need to actually deliver this car. He said something about some yellow pillars, which is really helpful guidance. Drive to the end, look for the yellow pillars, and if you get lost, ask security. So that's probably what I'll end up doing. So I've just arrived at London Gateway Services. I'm just taking a quick toilet break. I'm about 10 minutes ahead of schedule, so I've got plenty of time to do so. And I need to change the battery in this GoPro. And then we're off into London. This is the final services on the M1 southbound. One I've never been to before. So we're on the A406 now, that's the North Circular, and as you can see we've got the Wembley Arch in front of us. It's a 50-mile-an-hour average speed limit down here, but I don't think we're going to be getting there. Bus in front of us, let's just move over for that. Any roads off to my left are now within the ultra low emission zone, but this road itself would be fine. As I say earlier, this vehicle, it doesn't matter though, it's not affected. It wasn't the route I was planning to take. I was planning to go all the way up to IKEA, but Waze is clearly redirecting me for some reason through here as we go through Neasden towards Willesden, which is...
At the roundabout, take the third exit onto A4088, Durden Hill Lane.
Which is roughly where we'll be stopping. Let's get around this roundabout. That'll be south. And you, yeah. I am reasonably familiar with driving in London. I used to live in southwest London myself before I moved to Sheffield, although not this far into London. I'm not doing 24, where are you getting that from? That's better. Obviously all of London these days is a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit, and I'm actually just gonna... Okay, the car's got a speed limiter and it just... Blimey. It's a bit keen if you roll over slightly. I have just set it to 20 mile an hour, but obviously we're coming downhill and it just kept creeping over into 21 there. Say forward, but it also says way out. So follow it all the way down to the end and you'll see yellow pillars. I'm gonna need to cancel the Waze route. I think I've probably gone too far then. This still says car giant on it. Maybe there. Sound horn. So yeah, that was the correct drop-off location there. Just needed to go up to the bollards, honk my horn, and they'll let me in. I just double-checked with security to make sure that was correct. Now that that's been done, I'm gonna start making my way. I've got a long time to kill before I actually need to be at Finchley Road Station for my coach. So I'm actually gonna plan to start walking there. Hour and a half, get me there at 4:30, and we'll see from there what happens. But yeah, we'll walk past Car Giant on the way out. I'm about halfway on my return leg. I've just taken a quick stop in Queen's Park. Unfortunately the weather's about to turn against me, so I'm not regretting this big coat anymore. Halfway on my journey over to Finchley Road Station, where I'll be waiting for the coach. So the coach, when I do get it, it's going to take about 3.5 hours to get back to Sheffield, but I've got few episodes of The Gentleman downloaded on Netflix, and I've still got food as well to eat, so that'll be a late finish, due in at about 8:30, but it will be fine for me. The drop-off process was really easy, it took 10 minutes. I just have to take a few more photos, less photos, but still just mostly the exterior of the car, just to confirm I've not damaged it on the way through. Get the guy's signature, that's it really. So it's a nice easy process to drop off. It is raining a little bit, but not enough that it's affecting me. I'm in the middle of 2 train lines actually, so I could divert if I need to, but my plan is to keep walking. I'm about halfway, I've done 40 minutes, got another 30 to 40 minutes to go. I'm about 20 minutes away now. It's 4:30, I'm supposed to be there by 10 to 5, so it's pretty much bang on. Just under a mile left to go. As you can see though, my hood's had to come up as this rain has not stopped. I don't think I'll be able to film again as I arrive at the coach because it's going to be quite a busy street. Lots of people around, lots of cars, lots of traffic. It's going to be quite noisy. I've got a sandwich and drink with me which I'll have on the coach. And as I said earlier, a couple of things to watch and a book to read for the 3.5 hours. I probably won't film anything. I certainly won't speak on the coach because I don't want to interrupt the other passengers. So yeah, been through, came out of Queen's Park, walked up towards Kilburn, and now literally using more back roads to get down to Finchley Road, rather than be able to hopefully have a 10-minute rest before the coach arrives. They want you there 10 minutes before the coach is due, so I've got a little break there, and then it's time to rest. But this is probably the last time I'll do an update while I'm walking. And as I say, once I get to Meadowhall at the end of the coach journey, I'm not going to film because I'm jumping straight in a car. I've got someone coming to pick me up to take me home. So this has been a bit of a different video and I hope you've enjoyed it in some way. I know I've rambled on quite a bit. You'll hear no more of me in a moment. Just to say then, the coach eventually arrived actually quite late due to a loss of traffic through London. It arrived with us at 5:30, due in at 5 o'clock originally. There was a bit more traffic getting to the M1, and at one point we were due to be an hour late into Sheffield Meadowhall, but we ended up making up that time. I think the stop at Milton Keynes was shorter, and so we got there at just gone 9 o'clock. So a day's work for £90. Was it worth it? I'll leave that choice up to you. It gets me out of the house, away from my desk, away from binge watching stuff. Gives me something to do during the day while I'm doing my training. Thanks for joining me. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a like. Just leave any feedback down below in the comments. I might make some more, I might not. See how this one performs. If I make more, I'll hopefully make them slightly more interesting for you. But we'll have to see what cars we can get. So thank you. Cheers.